goes it. So many of you may be coming off of the video where I hurt the transmission at Dig or Die. We messed it up pretty good. So we had I guess we can talk about that first. Transmission's got some age to it. You know, it's been around the block, and David at D&J and Chris down there and Adam and those guys, they all did a fantastic job on that unit, and it's been untouched for the last 2 years. Like it was freshened 2 years ago, but most of the hard parts are over 5 years old now. So we destroyed the ATI Super Sprag in it, with the Pro Mod direct collector drum assembly. So we smoked that guy pretty good, destroyed it, sent debris through the pump. Yeah, messed it up good. Stuff happens. So that is actually already fixed. Today's actually Wednesday, and we've gotten pretty busy this week in the shop, and my guys didn't have a customer car to work on for a couple days, so they were able to help me out with the car, which we're going to talk about that here in a second. And yeah, David's already got the 400 freshened up, dyno tested on his dyno stand at the shop, and it's ready to rock and roll. So we're going to go pick that up in the morning, and well, I'm going to send Eric down to go grab it for me, and because I got more stuff to work on the dyno tomorrow. So where are we at right now? See some new hotness down there? So, really excited to announce officially that we have Frankenstein's intake on the car. This sucker is sweet. So this is their Apophis intake, named after, had to ask ChatGPT here. The Greek name for ancient Egyptian serpent god, Apophis. So, why switch intakes? This guy has been our tried and true Big Block Chevy, got us through years and years and years and years of use. Filler right here. So this is a Super Vic that was heavily modified by 417 Motorsports that actually Randy Westmoreland had done. So I don't know if maybe he got the parts from 417 or if he had 417 do it. But that's one of their conversion kits. And that sucker has been our shining star for such a long time, holding 16 injectors on a common rail and getting it done. But been wanting to make some changes. So we got Frankenstein's Big Block Chevy intake on here. It is a 8 injector setup, and we're using our Fuel Injector Clinic 2150 injectors from the LS 427. So I plan on getting another set of these injectors for the 427, but since we're on race gas, we're going to just bump the fuel pressure up a little bit, and these have a little bit better spray pattern, especially on gas, than the Siemens Deca 212s that we've been using. So I got like 3.5 sets of those. But when we're running methanol, we need all that injector. Now we're not running methanol, we don't need that much injector. So step this guy down to just 8. We have a burst panel finally, in case we have a lean pop issue or anything like that, which I've only had 2 of those in my career, but we never really hurt anything with having it happen. But I have seen people absolutely destroy intake manifolds, cowl areas, windshield, stuff like that. So this will help give us an area for it to direct and go off to. I do have a chimney to go on it, but I haven't seen how close the hood is to that yet. And to make sure don't know where it's going to end up at on the hood. So I don't know if it's going to end up, you know, here or here yet. I got to set the hood down and see. I'm guessing, doing a quick guess off of these lines, where that is, we're going to be right behind the scoop. So that'll be neat. We also finally installed our Wilson high boost 123 millimeter 5-inch V-band throttle body. That I bought this guy years ago and just never had the drive to finish the elbow. I made the base plate for an elbow to go on the old intake, and then I was going to make, you know, a box to go on top of that and make it a 5-inch, and it just never was a priority. So this gave us the push we needed to get it on here. So now I don't have any step down in here for our CAS ejector. We have a nice 5-inch feed from filter all the way to runner. So I am pretty pumped about this guy. We did do a weight comparison, dressed versus dressed. So that one, you can see the old intake still has all of its injectors in it over there on the floor by my piston cleaner. And this guy fully dressed with throttle bodies on both of them. And this intake actually did come in a little lighter, so it is a couple pounds lighter than that one. So that's pretty big considering, you know, that one weighs 33 pounds dressed, and yeah, this one's just under 31 pounds. So a little bit less weight. And if I ever want to go to a flat hood, I could do a flat hood or get pretty dang close to it. So that's really neat. Let's talk about performance benefits. So your top entry style intakes were never really meant to flow just air. You know, they're designed to have a carburetor on there and to kind of help tumble the air and the fuel mix to kind of get where it needs to be and work completely different. So distribution has always been a topic of discussion for the big block intake. We had a pretty decent amount of fuel spread from one hole to the other, and we only really saw that when we had a lot of power going in it. So like when we got over the 2,000 horsepower mark, we started noticing that quite a bit. And hopefully with the much larger plenum volume of this intake manifold, we will see a better distribution of air, and we'll see a lot less corrections hole to hole to get everything kind of balanced in, and that'll help even the motor out. So if you've been watching for a while, you may have heard me talk about number 8 on this motor has always been my problem child. Well, that hole always got buttload more fuel in it and way less timing. And now we'll be able to see how much of that was the intake manifold. We also swapped back to the turbo camshaft on this go around, and parts of it is because the blower cam kind of scared me down low in power, but we've also got a lot of good data on this camshaft, and we've already got dyno numbers on this camshaft and engine. So we're going to do a dyno test hopefully before we go racing. So we're going to hopefully do a dyno test Friday. So in less than 48 hours, I'll be on the dyno. And we're going to see what the power band looks like with this intake manifold. Because if we can get our mid-range back up for the burnout without having to tip into the compressed air system and taking some capacity out of the bottles, that'd be good. And if we can extend our power band even further up top, that'll also be good. So that's what we're really hoping for. Those are my 2 goals. I want to pick up power up top, and I want to get better cylinder to cylinder distribution. And if we can see that, then that'll help increase longevity of the motor even more. Which I should note that since we have put the compressed air on it, although we do still see some of the cylinder to cylinder differences, we have not managed to hurt anything yet on the compressed air. So we're a little over, we're about 100 runs in on the big block with the compressed air, and about 45, 50 runs on the LS. And so far, we really haven't found the point of destruction, or, you know, oh gosh, we need to watch out for this when we start talking to other customers in the future that run the system, to, you know, be careful or mindful of this issue. We don't have that yet. You know, about the only thing that you gotta be careful of is when you want power, it is now, and it will be now, and it'll be a lot of it. I think the only thing I'm not excited for is this Ford style TPS sensor. This guy, not really excited about. I might put a shock sensor over here and extend a shock sensor. That way I don't have to worry about a Ford TPS, because I think I trust the shock sensor more than I trust this guy. Throttle linkage also still needs a little bit of work, so I just made that little guy and kind of settled in on what I'm going to do this go around. I was going to put a Morse cable on there, like a zero friction cable, like you use for your transmission, this guy here, or your parachute. These you can use as push pulls. So when you have a gas pedal with a tow hook, you can use this cable and actually push the throttle body close in an event of an emergency. And instead, I'm relying on just springs for now. Knock on wood. Got wood in here. Haven't had really any issues with my throttle stuff. So, but we're gonna give this a go, see how it works, see how I like it. I'm sure we're gonna love it. And we still got to finish up the big block install. We'll do the transmission. So yeah, hopefully tomorrow we're pretty much in startable status. So we're going forward. So Thursday, after hours, once we get through our day, I'll hopefully wrap up the last couple details, start building a new tune for this, because we're going to increase fuel pressure a bit because these injectors are a little bit smaller, and get the injector data in there, wipe out our balancing on the cylinder stuff, and get it fired up and start seeing what the EGTs want down low, and then get it on the dyno the following morning and wake up the whole neighborhood again with some dyno pulls. Probably not going 1, 2, 3, probably just third gear on, just burp. So second and a half, 2 seconds of a pull. And kind of get an idea what the cylinder balance is going to look like, and also where a power band is. You know, do some 8,000 RPM sweeps. Well, if it's together and running and dynoed, we gotta go racing. We gotta go racing. So this weekend, one of our local tracks, US 36, up in Osborne, Missouri, they are having their first annual Mike Franks Memorial Small Tire Race that Kendall Gowen's been doing a lot of work to help put on. And we're doing that in memory of Mike Franks, the gentleman that used to own US 36, and he passed away last year. And he'll be missed. He's always been that smiling butthole. We'll put it kindly. Always been that smiling butthole when you leak something on his track. So Eric was always his yelling punching bag, because Eric's car puked a little bit of fluid a few times and dropped some rocks, which were contributed from the parking lot on the track. So, but Eric can take it. Sorry, Eric. And Mike used to always get on him, even if it was somebody else's turd box dropping crap on the track. So, but Mike will be forever missed. And he was always really fun and supportive every time we were up there racing or testing. And yeah, it's a big loss to our local community. So we're gonna go up there and you know, hope for dry weather. Friday is not looking very good for up north. There's another track kind of close to us, Flying H, which is also doing a test and tune sessions Friday. It looks like they have less chance of rain I don't know if they're going to pull the plug last minute because of the chance of rain. They might. But if they don't, we're going to try to pick one of these tracks that's hopefully dry. And you know how Mother Nature is. Mother Nature can be either, you know, you're screwed or you're not. And since we're only, you know, up to an hour and a half from either one of them, we can kind of make a last minute decision and beeline over there and get a shakedown, because we've got, we got the big block in, we got a different intake. We're gonna have a fresh transmission. We're gonna have a couple new rod ends in the back. We gotta take these little tiny 26s off and get our 28s back on there. You can see some of the digger die weights getting kind of shedded off the car. And we need to change all the 4-link adjustments around. We need to change the lift kit, skyjactor kit, back out of the car on the front and get it back down. So we got a lot of chassis stuff to do. You know, we got pretty much, we got to start over. Got a whole new car. Everything's different except for the rear gear. You know, we kind of know where the 4-link's going to be, and hopefully alignment's not off in the front. You know, I mean, it'll still be black and it'll have 2 doors and probably 3 bottles, because why not? We got the big block in there. I like having extra capacity. So, and you know, worst case scenario, there's always first round on Saturday to figure the car out. Why not? At least I'm not driving across the country this time to do it. So, I don't always lose in first round, but I'll feel a lot better going into first round, even if I make a couple crappy test passes, even if I get 1 test pass. So, I mean, I guess I could always double enter or something Saturday and see if I can't get a test lick somewhere in there, or you know, use one of the classes as a test pass. So, let's see, where else are we at? I think that's it. That's about all I got going on right now. Intake debut. Talked about our transmission failure. I really wish we could have stayed at dig or die. Man, that last pass was decent. Not great, but decent. It was a great building point to continue on. And then with having that done, I really think we could have had something for 26s the next day. But it is what it is. It's racing. It's how it goes. You know, we've always struck out our dig or die. And maybe one of these days we'll get it. Maybe we'll just take a break from a couple of their events and, you know, let that monkey kind of dwindle on my back there. And then maybe the next time we show up, it'll be big and wonderful and glorious, and maybe we'll sink it. Maybe we'll sink both days. But pretty bad, I've never made it to day 2 of dig or die. That is terrible. Oh well. Okay. Well, that is it for tonight. I'm digging the black and silver combination on here. Really liking it. I'm excited. I'm pumped. I know I don't seem really pumped right now, but it's like 11:30 at night. And it's been a long, hot day. We're under heat index or heat advisory all week, so like most of the country. So it affects us in here too, even on this side. This side is air conditioned, and it was about 80 degrees most of this afternoon and this evening, and it finally started to cool off. So just as I was getting finished up for the night. So, all right, well, I'm gonna load up the truck and head on out, and y'all catch this, and by then hopefully I got some new exciting stuff done. Adios.